This is absolutely disgusting. Man pushes pregnant wife off cliff while vacationing to collect life insurance. Like, the extent that some people will go to make money shocks me all the time. I remember watching a show called like American Greed, where like those stories, those fraud cases, those scams, what people are willing to do for like a quick buck was so beyond disgusting. Let's get into this, but like, oh my god. So, a Turkish man has been convicted of pushing his wife, who was 7 months pregnant, off a cliff. Like, this is just so depressing. So, what we know, according to Fox News, Hakan Yasal, 41, and Simra Asal, 32, were vacationing in southern Turkey when the crime occurred. Authorities believe Asal summoned his wife to the edge of the 1,000-foot high cliff to take a selfie, after which he then pushed her to her death. Prior to the crime, Hakan had taken out a 25,000 life insurance policy on Asal, which he tried to collect after the murder. However, he was unable to do so due to the police investigation. And here's the thing, right? Like, think about this. He did all this for only $25,000. Only $25,000. $25,000 was enough for you to kill your wife and your unborn kid? Like, this is just sad, you know? It's like, never get yourself in a situation where financially that seems like a good idea, because that is horrible, right? This is absolutely horrendous. And the amount of betrayal, like, can you even like imagine the amount of betrayal that the wife probably felt when she got pushed by him? Oh, Lord. So the initial plea. Assault initially pled innocent, but then entered a last minute insanity plea, which the court rejected. Family members of Hakan and Assad grew suspicious due to Hakan's calm demeanor after his wife's death and started to believe Assad's fall was not an accident. And the forensic evidence. When we went to the Forensic Medicine Institute to get the body, Hakan was sitting in the car. My family and I were destroyed, but Hakan did not even appear sad, said Asol's brother, Namyo Ko. My sister was always against taking out loans. However, after she died, we learned she had loans taken out by Hakan on behalf of my sister. That is so disturbing. That is so disturbing. So, a well deserved ruling. Hakan was sentenced to life in prison, good, Jesus, and will have to serve 30 years of his sentence before he becomes eligible to be considered for an. Whoa, 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 whoa. You should not be released early. You killed your wife. Dear Lord. Let's check out some of these comments. Stop showing me horrible murder stories. I'm glad he wasn't able to collect it. Poor woman and her unborn baby. Like, I agree, you know? 25K. That's what you took a life and ruined your own life for. That's my monthly restaurant budget. The worst part about these crimes is the person being murdered believing that their partner would never do such a thing. To think that a person had so little regard for human life. Horrible. And here's the thing, it's one thing to have little regard for a complete stranger, but to have such little regard for a loved one, supposedly? My lord. He entered an insanity plea. Hilarious. Nice try. Why is this a story and not the lady who did it to her husband right down the street or the lady who did it to her husband on the east side of Cincy? Seems like men are the only ones demonized on this site. You can't even buy a Kia with 25k. The only way I'd release him is at 10,000 feet or higher. I just can't even imagine the fear that poor woman went through, realizing someone she loved would do that for the last seconds of her and her baby's life. What an awful human being he is, not sure why he didn't get the death penalty. Humans by far the worst of all species. A crime is a crime, but here in the US, people. I'm just keep going. I'm disappointed. He should have shared her fate as punishment. That is so heartless and cruel. Yep. Let's see. What the heck is wrong with these people? Greed and nothing else. Look at the related on the original post. A woman even killed her own mother in Bali. American man kills his new wife in Fiji. And it goes on and on. See, the thing is, people have varying degrees of moral ethics, right? But what always amazes me is how much evil someone would be willing to do for such little money. And then it starts to make you realize that life itself is so depressingly cheap, right? Like if you were to go into the ghetto, right? In that situation, people will literally just off one another because they're wearing the wrong color of clothing, right? That's crazy. There are people who would literally, like, end each other because they think that they stole a ramen pack from them, right? There's people who would literally just kill another person just because they looked at them the wrong way. Not even relating to money, right? So it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me how little people view human life. Life in prison in Turkey is a slap on the wrist. He valued more life insurance than his wife. Evil people everywhere. Let's see. Keep going. Boy, that's a new one. I'm sure the insurance company was just about to cut him a check. I retired from 33 years in claims. When people do this kind of thing, they're taking on not one professional, but a team of professionals. You may slip one by, but odds are you won't. And this is the thing that like people don't understand, right? It's like insurance companies do not want to pay the claim out ever, right? So they're going to do everything they can to find a way where they don't have to pay it. This person says loses spouse for $25,000. Looking for a son in laws or husband? Look no further. Good grief. $25,000 is not a lot of money. And the thing is, that's honestly true, right? Which is really sad. A Turkish life is worth 25k. I did not know this. Technically, it's going to be worth a lot less. Crazy. Feel free to give your thoughts on this. I just think it's incredibly insane, one, that people are evil enough and greedy enough to kill someone that they supposedly love or are just partners with for such little, little money. Like in the grand scheme of things, like to some people, well, actually to a lot of people, $25,000 might seem like a lot of money. But when you really understand how much money ends up circulating between people on a day to day basis, how much people are really making from various things, like $25,000 is like nothing. Like nothing. Not only that, technically speaking, the majority of people can just go get a $25,000 loan. And if you're in America, you could get like a student loan like a snap of your fingers. Like it's disgusting how easy it is for people to end up getting into like six figures of debt by just applying for student loans. It's crazy. Like just think about that, right? You have like 18-year-olds getting into $100,000 plus in debt, and you have this person willing to end someone's life that they are very close to technically for only 25. Pretty crazy.